Do 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 do. What's up, everyone? Scout Army and Scout DFS Army. This is Fuego Steve bringing you another edition of NBA Today. It is December 28th, Thursday, and we got a 5-game slate on tap tonight. This is a great slate. I love 5-game slates personally. As usual, joined by Jaguar Lou. What about you, Lou? You like 5-game slates?
I like them for cash games, small satellites, stuff that you can max out. I don't like them for like the $150 jumbo dunk tonight. I really want to enter it, but I always know it's a waste of money. But in terms of smaller slates, I'm always more on. So it's easier to figure out a lineup when there's only 5 games. So I'm excited for tonight. But I'm going up to Maine right now.
Get
So
in the single entries too, and good day for
yeah.
singles and 3 max. For sure.
Listen, guys, I'm going away, so every podcast for the next 3 days for me is going to be on top of a mountain. So we'll see how that. I love that line from Anchorman. I'm going to marry you on top of a mountain. All right, let's get started though, because we got to do this.
All right, well, let's talk about point guard. Before I get to the top guys, let's talk about some value here. Teague is out, right? Like Tyus Jones at 3,600 in play.
Tyus Jones is a great play if Teague is out. He's not. He's getting an MRI. I'm sure he's going to be out, but just wait for his confirmation. He's a game time decision right now.
Yeah, I don't see him here. I'm going to have to do a little search on that. But yeah, so I see Tyus Jones as a good play at 36 if Teague's out. We have Terry Rozier at 3,800 on FanDuel. It was a good play yesterday. Another good play again tonight if Jaylen Brown and Morris are out. Usage. You could, when we got Ish Smith at 5,500, who will be starting most likely for Reggie Jackson on Detroit. So we have some backup point guards. Rozier's not starting, but he's getting a lot of play, and Tyus Jones will be starting. So we have some backup point guards. Are you going to go there? Or are you going to go up to Lillard or Irving or the top range? Choices. Because Chris Paul is also out, FYI.
Yeah, so I like Ish Smith against Elfrid Payton. At the same time, I like Elfrid Payton too. That's why I say this is a day where having multiple lineups kind of makes sense. As of right now, they're projecting JJ Redick to be guarding Damian Lillard. So in my main lineup on FanDuel, I think I will be including Damian Lillard if he is guarded by JJ Redick. I would assume that Ben Simmons would guard him, but I guess Ben Simmons is a better matchup for McCollum. I'm going to have to look into that. But either McCollum or JJ or Lillard should go off against JJ Redick and Simmons, whoever sees Redick more. So I like the Lillard play a lot. Another thing I like is
I'd be shocked if T plays, by the way. Sorry to interrupt, but I just get MRI.
I would be shocked too, but they just haven't said it yet.
Sure, you're right. You're right.
And like, imagine he gets the MRI, and it was just like a big like shock. I didn't even see what happened. But I just like to get that confirmation, and it would be weird for him to be like carted off the court and not be confirmed out by this time too.
And getting an MRI and not so just taking a day off. Right?
Yeah, so like maybe he gets the day off anyway. Either way, I love Tyus Jones and he should have a good matchup against Eric Bledsoe. So I think he's a lock when they announce Jeff Teague is out, just to make sure,
right.
Because we all thought Blake Griffin was back the other day and then they took him out. So you always want to make sure. The best EVPs are against Orlando. So Ish Smith comes into a great spot. None of those other guards are really that talented. But in that game, I also like Andre Drummond and Tobias Harris. So it's hard to roster them all together. So that's tough for me. Also,
with the value here, but let me cut you off again. With the value here, and with the fact that there's no Westbrook, there's no one over 9,000. You got Lillard at 8.8. You got Irving at 8.6 on a back-to-back. You got Bledsoe 7.6. Payton, who's probably in play at 7.4 going against Ish Smith. And then it goes to Ish Smith at 5.5. And so, I mean, you're almost forced if you want to get the freak, if you want to get Harden, you want to get some of these guys in your lineup, you're almost forced to go Ish Smith and Jones, or Jones and Rozier, or something.
And just so you know, there's one more value point guard play that could be viable. And we've been attacking Tony Parker for a while now. And the Knicks coach came out the other day and said that he wants his guards to be more aggressive. And I don't think he was talking about Courtney Lee. I think he was talking about Jared Jack and Nila Kuna, or I always percent for Frank, whatever.
Needle Kina.
I'm sorry. I'm just gonna call him
Little Kina. Frank N. We'll call him.
Yeah, I'm gonna call him Frank the Tank because I love that movie. So whatever movie that is. So Frank the Tank.
My boy Blue.
Yeah, so Frank the Tank and Jared Jack, they want them to be more aggressive. Frank the Tank's been doing some stupid stuff in games. He's a rookie. He's 19 years old. I get it, but there is going to be a game where he shows his stuff, and I like Jared Jack too for value, maybe even punt. But the funny thing is like Tyus Jones, I think, is a lock, and then it would be interesting if because everyone's going to be going down for point guard today. It'd be interesting to get value and fade Tyus Jones just in a couple of lineups, just because this is the kind of stuff that wins the $150K or the $150 jumbo. But it'd be interesting to fade all these cheap guys because on tonight's slate, we literally have tons of guys that you could pay down for at point guard. And it would be interesting to see what your lineup looked like if you went Kyrie Irving and Lillard.
Yeah, for sure.
Pay up. Yeah, like pay up while everyone's paying down, you know?
Right. We talk about making unique lineups, and they're not necessarily having to get guys at low ownership if the lineup itself is unique. And I think paying up for Irving and Lillard is not going to be a popular move tonight. I could see one in a lineup with one of these.
Yeah. I think Tyus Jones is going to be unbelievably high owned.
Jones is gonna. I never made the guess the other day with Napier. The funny thing was, I was gonna say 70%, and he was 71%. So you got to trust me on that one. I'm gonna say Jones is
higher. I think he's higher.
No, about higher. I'm just gonna say 62%. He's owned.
No, I would 62%. I would say 77%. He's going to be so high owned that if you fade him, because he's had great game logs and he has a good matchup. So if you want to fade him, play Bledsoe and Irving.
But it's a catch-22 because I was with my kids last night. Someone asked me in chat about the Pacers, and I was like, oh, yeah, bump up the other Pacers. But I wasn't thinking that Stevenson was a lock. Willie and you said, you should have locked him in.
Yeah.
And I didn't, and you couldn't win because he went for 9X or whatever, almost 10X. Yeah. And at the value. So that's the problem. If you don't play Tyus Jones, 6 points for 10X. Yeah, so still there?
I'm sorry, I'm here. The thing with Tyus Jones and guys like Lance Stevenson is like when they come in, it's not like Ish Smith where you really don't know like what you're getting. Like even though Ish Smith has played before, I'm slightly confident in him. Like when Lance Stevenson came in last night, and similar to how Tyus Jones is going to come in tonight, like these aren't backups that are shy. These are backups that, like, Lance Stevenson is never shy about shooting, even coming off the bench. Like, so I knew Lance Stevenson was going to take up a bunch of shots. I wasn't expecting 64% ownership, considering how late it happened. But, like guys like that, there's backup players that I get nervous about, and then there's backup players I don't. Tyus Jones would not come in on that line where I'm really too nervous about him. Simply off the assists and rebounds. And
just look at his game logs when T was out earlier in the year.
I think you have to lock him in.
Yeah, moving over to shooting guard. You got Harden at 12.5, who you could roster if you're going too low point guards. You could go Chris Middleton, who I like with the freak in there. The other day we were talking about when the freak was in, people like him less. I said, no, you don't have to like him less because he gets his 50-point games with the freak in there. Now, he did only go for 22 the other day. I expect a bounce-back game today versus Minnesota. McCollum, and then it drops to under 6,000. Gordon, Fournier is questionable. Smart was a letdown last night. He got hurt early, came back in. Redick, Wiggins again, who I like at 5.4. Are you paying up for Harden or are you dropping down?
I think you can go see like Evan Fournier came back strong last night. You can't. I don't even know. Is he a small forward on FanDuel now?
He's
But
just
yeah,
tweeting at him.
yeah, I was thinking about him, but Reggie Bullock actually almost shut down Oladipo. So Reggie Bullock's a good defender. I'm not. I don't like Evan Fournier. With Chris Paul out, I don't mind Eric Gordon. Um, Marcus Smart might be relied on to defend Harden if Jaylen Brown is out. So you got to see that Jaylen Brown information. And then in terms of shooting guards, I'm more confident in uh, Porzingis and Cantor will have a lot on their hands. So Courtney Lee is a shooting guard, but he's at the small forward position on FanDuel, but he's a great play. I think tonight, if you don't play one of these Knicks point guards that I spoke about before, I think your most confident plays are probably just I mean, yeah, you could go up to
Hey,
James
I got a
Harden, but he,
question. Let me ask you, because
yeah.
of the bad DVPs that Houston has demonstrated, would you go back to Marcus Smart, even though he's kind of like a point guard slash shooting guard?
Yeah, I would go back to Marcus Smart, but that's if Jaylen Brown
Okay.
doesn't play.
Right. Right.
Because someone, like I said, when these superstars go on play, when they play without Chris Paul, and when they play without the center position, because Clint Capella is already confirmed out, James Harden is going to have a lot to do. So like Houston, I mean Boston is one of the teams that actually has 2/3 players that can guard Harden. The best one being Jaylen Brown when he's healthy. Marcus Smart is a close second. He can definitely guard James Harden. And then Jason Tatum would be a last resort. I don't think he could guard Harden too well, but he has the body type too. So I don't like Harden tonight. But with Nene out, with Chris Paul out, and with the position being so weak, uh, and the value you have at point guard, you might have to pay up for him. Like, yes, he's in a bad matchup against potentially Marcus Smart and Brown, but you have to remember Chris Paul is out and Clint Capella is out. So like either he has 50 points or he has 15 assists and 10 rebounds. But either way, on a small slate like this, I think you got to try to find the money for him, especially with the value
Yeah.
at point guard.
Yeah, I just made a lineup with him and the Freak, and it really wasn't that hard on FanDuel. So, yeah,
Even if he underperforms on a night like this, Harden underperforming is still okay. Like let's say he gets 44 points, that's underperforming. But that's still fine in terms of like overall lineups.
and of course, it always has to do with what else happened. So I think it's pretty weak position for ceiling. Let's put it that way. Middleton, like let's say Harden puts up 45. Well, if Middleton puts up 50 and McCollum puts up 50, well, you're screwed. But if they just put up 30, then it's the same difference. You still got those extra points or whatever. So I do like Eric Gordon at 5'8" going against Boston. I could get behind Smart again, though it's not my favorite play. I like Andrew Wiggins at 5'4" against Milwaukee. He let me down a little bit yesterday. He put up 27 in 42 minutes. So I would have liked to see some more points there, but I could go with him and Redick at 5'5". So I think all these guys in this $5,000 range are in play. I don't see me paying for McCollum. I could see me paying for Middleton and Harden, just for Harden or just for Middleton, and then going there. There is not a lot of punt guys. Like, I mean, I think the lowest I'd even think about going is Malcolm Brogdon and Redick at 5'5" and Andrew Wiggins at 5'4", because I don't like any of like the Danny Greens, the Jamal Crawfords. I'm not behind them tonight. So it could be a Harden and Middleton night for me. It could be a
Wait,
Middleton and Gordon tonight is a good way to hedge it too. Okay.
guys, I just wanted to say, Ish Smith is $5,500. Oh, that is so high for a guy that is coming off the. I mean, yeah, I guess he has a floor, but I mean it's okay floor and a relatively high
Yeah, he was
ceiling. But
3,900 4 games ago. Yeah.
yeah, guys, just so you know, I would not be paying 5,500 for Ish Smith on a night like tonight where there's value elsewhere. Sorry to jump back up to point guard, but yeah, that's not happening. I'm not paying $5,500 for a player that, even though he has the best matchup on the slate, I can't do that. That's crazy. I didn't even notice that. 5,500 is way too high for him.
Yeah.
Fuego, I think you muted yourself by mistake. Fuego? All right. Well, while I guess Fuego was muted for the time being, I will take over. I don't know if you guys are hearing him as well, but so I guess I'm going to move forward to
How
this.
about now? Am I back?
I can hear you. I can hear you now.
I don't know what the heck happened there. I may have hit the thing with my knee.
You know what? That
Sorry
was
about that.
that was a turning moment for me because that was you were gone and we were still live and I took over. I was about to start talking about small forwards.
Let's do that. Let's talk about small forwards. Let's talk about the freak 11-9. Do you have to get him in your lineup tonight?
Yeah, I just think there's a lot of value. And I think that you can go freak. You can hedge him with Jimmy Butler in two lineups very simply. I do like Robert Covington tonight, and I do like Jonathan Simmons tonight. Jonathan Simmons was a non-factor.
Hey, I would interrupt you for a second. So somebody in chat mentioned something about it sounds like Lou's. Is there something up with his mic? It sounds like he's laughing.
Just now.
Well, no. The last night, and I was like, you probably
yeah.
haven't heard us talk about before Lou having Tourette's syndrome. I said, yeah, my son says the same thing. My son, if I'm talking to Lou, it sounds like he's laughing at me. So Lou's not necessarily laughing at my the Giannis Antetokounmpo pick. Just wanted to get that
right. No, I do have Tourette's. It is a good thing for poker, and it is a good thing for daily fantasy because I'm moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour. So consider that a benefit in this world. But yeah, so I do like Jonathan Simmons a lot. Orlando is still a little messed up, and I am a little scared because Jonathan Simmons ruined all my lineups last night. But yeah, so I like Jonathan Simmons. Maybe go back to him at low ownership tonight. He's in a good matchup. I will be investing in either Ryan Anderson or Trevor Ariza. So that's something that's important to have exposure to, just because Houston's exposure is all over the place. I think I'm more on Ryan Anderson than Trevor Ariza right now. And
would you go back to Butler? He's been playing really well.
Yeah, I would. I have no problem playing Butler and Antetokounmpo. I've said this before. I never get Minnesota right, and they're always like priced high. Like, and the way I start my lineups is like value, and then I fill it with guys I like, and Minnesota.
Oh, I just lost you now, Lou. We're playing the lose each other game.
No, sorry about that. Somebody just called me. Okay. Yeah, so I do like Jimmy Butler, basically. I just rarely roster Minnesota players, but she probably might call me back, just so you know. If she does, I'll hang up. I'll hang up on her immediately. But see, she did it again. Yeah, so just Courtney Lee, I like a little bit. The coach wants the guards to get going, even though he's a small forward. He's a safer play at 5,900. And then
why is Covington questionable? I didn't see that.
Covington? Let me see. If Covington's questionable, let me see. I don't see that anywhere on this.
Yeah, all right. Well, while we're looking at that, talk to me about Kawhi Leonard. He's up to 26 minutes last game, put up 26 FanDuel points.
Yeah.
Are they going to start letting him play a little? I mean, his price is creeping back up to 7.3, but it's a great price. I mean, I think he could get 35 points if they give him 30 minutes.
Normally, I would say totally that you're right, but he should be going up again. He should be going up against one. We don't know about the limits, the minutes, and or the limits of his minutes, and two, we don't know. Well, we do know that he's guarding or being guarded by Lance Thomas. Lance Thomas is a relatively good defender, so that scares me quite a bit, actually, in terms of Kawhi Leonard. But it does have me on my most confident play of the day, which is LaMarcus Aldridge.
All right. Before we get to Aldridge, so we like the freak, we like Butler, no Kawhi, the minutes, Covington questionable. So watch that news. I got to look into that a little bit more. I see a Q here, but I don't see any news on him, which is strange. Simmons league, it's you could pretty much pick and choose any of these guys in here and filling out your lineups. I think PJ Tucker could be a punt play, though his price, excuse me, is getting up there. Stanley Johnson punt play, or like a little more than I did at shooting guard, some punt plays. But yeah, small forward. Some places you can go tonight. Simmons for sure. You can pair Simmons and Ariza and pay down. You can pair Antetokounmpo and Butler, pay up. You do 1-1. Over at power forward, you mentioned Aldridge, who's 8'5". He's the third highest. You got Porzingis at 9'2". Simmons' price keeps dropping because he's just not getting those ceiling games. He's down to 9,000. You like Aldridge the best out of Simmons and Porzingis?
Yeah, definitely. I like Aldridge against a New York team that has been allowing a lot of points to the power forward position. Porzingis is a good defender, and I guess he's viable if you really want to play him for GPP low owned play. But I really like LaMarcus Aldridge for the safety that he brings, as well as the upside that he brings. Other than that, just because also if you look at the New York DVPs, they're horrible. And Marcus Aldridge and Kristaps Porzingis are both 7 feet tall, or Aldridge might not be up to. Let me see how tall he is. But either way, Aldridge is a bigger guy. He should be able to back down Porzingis, and body type wise, he should benefit in the matchup where Porzingis usually benefits. Being a power forward with such a tall frame, and but I think LaMarcus Aldridge is the type of guy that is has one of the better matchups against someone like Porzingis. Aldridge is 6'11", 240, and he's just like a bigger guy. So I do like Aldridge in this matchup. I don't like Kawhi, and I think New York will be shooting for a poor average. A poor field goal percentage. So that's my favorite play of the day. Other than Aldridge, I could go to Tobias Harris for sure. He went off yesterday, and then he slowed. He got 34 or something points in the first half, really in the first quarter, and then he slowed down. He ended up getting 40
Yeah,
something.
that was my bad. I was off him on the pod, but then I got back on him in the chat. People, I was like, "Yeah, I'm warming up to Harris," and he went off in that first quarter.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he can do the same against Orlando tonight. Gordon is questionable.
Yeah.
Looks like Fournier's going to play. I'm not sure if it's a Harris night or not.
No. I was gonna say I would not go Harris. I'm more on the Marcus Aldridge, and in terms of the big men for Detroit, I'm gonna trust in Drummond. And other than Drummond, that takes me off Tobias Harris technically, just because I don't like taking Harris and Drummond together. There's no
How
correlation.
about some of these guys in this range here? Dario Saric,
Well,
6'2", Jason Tatum, Taj Gibson, back to
was
Gibson.
I was just gonna say my three favorite are probably Saric, Gibson, and then if you go a little, where is he? Where am I looking?
Ryan Anderson?
Yeah, where is he? Oh, there he is.
4,200.
4,200. Ryan Anderson's my favorite. Ariza or Anderson will go off tonight. I mean, they're the only two forwards. I don't think Nene is worth the play. I mean, yeah, he's capable of some sort of offense, but against a Boston team that can't rebound, Ryan Anderson's my play today. I think he should get some offensive rebound putbacks. So the power forward position is the easiest one for me to lock in. I'm just locking in LaMarcus Aldridge, Ryan Anderson. I'll be in the car all day, but I'm pretty confident about that up until lock. There's not a ton of injuries waiting there. And with Tyus Jones sitting at top at 3,600, it makes things a lot easier to make happen.
I'm debating what to do with power forward. That's my sketchiest spot on my decision making, because if I do like Anderson, then I can pretty much go anyone else. But I don't mind Taj Gibson. I don't mind Tatum, Saric. I'm not sure if I have to lock in Aldridge if I'm going freak. So I'm gonna have to think about it. Let's see if I go Aldridge and Anderson, I could get the freak Middleton. Yeah, man. If you play Jones and Rozier point guard, you spend a total of like less than $7,500. You can still do quite a lot, man. I got Butler in the lineup. I don't mind that one. All right, so I might be doing that. At the center spot, we got Embiid going against Portland. I don't know, but just watch Embiid. Just watch it, period. He doesn't have any designation next to him, but that doesn't mean anything. So please pay attention if he's in. If he is in, I think he's a fine play against Portland. He put up 51 in 34 minutes the other day. You got Karl Anthony Towns. He had Willie called it yesterday. He had a pretty good game, 47 points on FanDuel. Andre Drummond, 9.5. Those are the three high-priced guys. Then you drop to Horford, Cantor, and Biyombo. Those are the top however many are in for tonight. I'm not going any lower than Biyombo. No punts with Nene tonight. No punts with Aaron Baines tonight. I'm staying Biyombo and above. But talk to me about where you're looking at. Are you going to pay up for some of the high end price guys, or you're going down? I could go back to Cantor again, even though he let us all down yesterday.
Yeah, I could go back to Cantor. My favorite player is Andre Drummond. Yes, Biyombo is a physical player, and I said it yesterday. He could totally have a good game, but he's more of a rebounds guy. He doesn't really score, and I could see Andre Drummond getting him into foul trouble and taking advantage of him on the offensive board side of the game. So I do think Andre Drummond is in a great matchup, especially without Reggie Jackson, without Avery Bradley. They got two guys at the small forward and shooting guard position that just aren't confident. They're going to have to rely on Andre Drummond a little bit more today. And if Bismack Biyombo gets into foul trouble, there's just no telling how high his ceiling is. Other than Andre Drummond, I just like
you like Horford going against the Capella-less Houston?
Yes, 100%. I love Horford. Horford's one of my favorite plays of the day for sure. Beside Drummond, it really would go. Actually, I don't love Cantor, by the way. And another safe play that you really don't realize is if you look at Paul Gasol. If you don't want to play Cantor, if you don't want to play Aldridge, take a look at Paul Gasol's last 4 games. 6,500 is his price. In Brooklyn, he got 38 points for 28 minutes. Sacramento, he had 30 minutes, 41 points. He sat out against Utah. And then in Portland, he had 33 minutes, 49 points. Like something's going on with Paul Gasol, and he might be finding his form. So I could actually go down to 6,500 and roster Paul Gasol. And I'd probably rather do that over Enes Kanter, to be honest. A good correlation would be Aldridge, Drummond, and then Gasol, Porzingis. That's a good way to look at it there.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Like you said,
I'm sorry. I messed that up. I apologize. Aldridge, Kanter, Porzingis, Paul Gasol. You know what I mean? To have one of each. That's what I was trying to say. Right, I said Drummond.
Right. For sure. There's definitely some places to go at center. I don't think you have to worry about ownership too much. I think it'll be spread around. There's not one clear guy that you say, oh my God, you have to get him in your lineup. So I think it's going to be spread around. Don't worry about ownership. Maybe fill out the center spot first if you really like someone, or fill it out last. Set your lineup, see how much money you have left. What about Jusuf Nurkic? He's been a real letdown, but his price is all the way down to 5,800. And we've seen 45 points. They're few and far between, but we have seen that ceiling. But he only had 16 minutes last game. I'm not sure if that was it could have been well, I don't know why he only had 16 minutes. What about Nurkic?
No. I don't feel the need to do that.
Okay.
I would probably either go up to Gasol or find a way to go up to Horford. Horford's in a great spot, guys. Nene is not going to be able to get out to him on the 3. And Nene is a good player, but I just don't think he's going to be able to contain him in the paint or behind the arc. So I think Horford should be in a great spot today against Capella-less Houston.
Yeah, I really find myself paying down for point guard, so I do think that is going to be a popular move tonight. So if you can pay up for one of them at least, it might be the way to be a little contrarian. If you pay up for both, would be even more contrarian. But I'm not sure I want to. when we keep your eye on this Teague news, if we get the confirmation he's out, I think you got to lock Tyus Jones in and just eat the chalk and be done with it. I mean, some of the games he's had this year when Teague was not in, 41 minutes, 40 points, 39 minutes, 30 points. Those were like the last two, I think. So he gets the points. And if you're telling me he's going to be 3,800, 3,600 and get me 30 points, I will take that all day long. So he's what we call good chalk tonight if Teague is out. Any final thoughts before we wrap up, Lou?
No, I just want to wish you guys luck. I'm getting in the car now, going up north. But I'll have I'll have my phone with Twitter, and I should be able to figure out a scenario where articles and podcasts will be coming at you from Maine. I'll be up in Maine for the weekend.
And don't forget, you got Slack chat on your phone, so you can jump in.
Oh, I could do that too. I gotta jump in the Slack, guys. I've been slacking recently. Get that one?
Set turn notifications on, but like between 6 and 7, and then you'll hear when it dings.
I definitely will do that. I'll do that right now.
You can turn it off when it's done if you want. I just leave it on all day, so I don't care. So you guys can give me all the questions. I have the kind of job that I could bounce back and forth, answer questions. So hit us in Slack chat. Check out our articles. And we hope you enjoyed the pod today. And as usual, get that money. For Jaguar Lou, I'm Fuego Steve. Peace.